Ukrainian President Zelensky recently dismissed his ambassador to the UK, price tag. Let me first say, this is not the Ukrainian version of The Office TV show, this actually happened. Our protagonist, President Zelensky, had a little friction with the UK Defence Minister, and as a result, our ambassador to the UK, price tag, suddenly got the boot. Doesn't this sound like a plot from a reality TV show? You see, the UK Defence Minister hinted that Ukraine should express more gratitude for their military assistance. Zelensky's response was like a line from a comedy movie. How can I express gratitude more clearly? Do I need to personally thank the minister every morning when I wake up? Oh boy, this is not just a regular translation issue, it's the birth of a brand new Thanksgiving celebration. Zelensky is ready to embark on a new lifestyle of expressing gratitude to the UK Defence Minister every single day. But it seems Ambassador Priztak wasn't on board with this new lifestyle. He said, "This kind of humor is unhealthy." Oh yes, I think he might be saying, "Mr. President, I appreciate your sense of humor, but please don't actually send a thank you text to the minister every morning." And then Zelensky just went ahead and fired the ambassador, without giving any reasons. If this isn't a brilliant comedy script, I don't know what is. However, I don't think Priztak finds this joke funny. He might be thinking, seriously, next time someone complains that my jokes aren't funny, I'll tell them at least I didn't fire them for their unfunny jokes. You see, Ukraine and the UK were supposed to be military allies, but now they've turned into a comedy of errors just because of the way gratitude is expressed. The UK Defence Minister probably wanted a thank you letter or a Thanksgiving turkey. And then, Zelensky made a joke, which the ambassador took as a sarcastic remark. It seems that even in diplomatic settings, jokes need to be handled with caution, as not only may others not find them funny, but you might end up laughing at your own expense. But ultimately, I think the real lesson from this story is, think twice before giving advice to your boss. You may think you're helping them, but they might perceive it as a challenge to their authority. You never know, you might unintentionally thank yourself out of a job. Well, I hope we all learn from this story and remember, be careful with your words in the workplace, especially when it comes to your boss. Former military commander and Russian ultra-nationalist, Gilkin, has just been arrested by Russian security forces. It is said that he was arrested for openly calling for Putin to step down. I guess when Putin saw this news, his reaction was probably like, "Ah, this guy has some nerve, daring to openly challenge me? If I don't teach him a lesson, how can I stay firmly in the presidential seat?" I don't know what your opinions are about Putin, but I can tell you that for a former military commander, publicly criticizing Putin is like challenging a black belt judo master. However, Mr. Gilkin is clearly not an ordinary person. He was a veteran of the Chechen War, a former defense minister of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, that declared independence, and one of Russia's most famous military bloggers. Now, for us ordinary people, if we think our leaders are doing a bad job, we might just vent on Twitter and then continue enjoying our popcorn. But Mr. Gilkin chose to openly criticize Putin. He wrote on his Telegram channel, which has nearly 900,000 subscribers, "If this cowardly and despicable person remains in power for another 6 years, the country will not be able to survive." After saying this, he probably almost forgot to add, #Putin step down. It seems that this is his crime. Gilkin is accused of violating Article 282 of the Russian Federation Criminal Code, which prohibits publicly calling for extremist activities on the internet. I just want to say, Mr. Gilkin, I admire your courage, but next time before publicly calling for any activity, it's best to take a look at your criminal code, especially the parts about the internet. I know it might take some time, but believe me, it's definitely better than going to jail. Now Gilkin is appearing in court behind the glass walls in Moscow. I really wish someone could capture his expression at that moment because I'm curious if he's thinking, "Oh, why did I provoke Putin? Why am I so foolish?" Or, "Putin, just wait, when I get out, you will pay the price." Now, he might be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison. I wonder if he still has the mood to update his blog, and if he'll write, "I'm doing well here. My new profession is Gilkin, the famous Russian military blogger and current internet sensation in prison." But honestly, Gilkin's courage is still worth our admiration. He openly criticized Putin, and his criticism even reached the level of attacking Putin himself. I think if one day Gilkin can walk out of prison, he will become a national hero of the new generation in Russia. Maybe someone will even create statues in his honor, with the inscription on the pedestal saying, "Gilkin, the brave critic." Let's talk about the political dynamics in Thailand. The Future Forward Party's PETA has just lost his dream of becoming the prime minister. With his Harvard education, idealism, and reformist stance, he seemed like a political rising star. However, during his campaign for Prime Minister, he was exposed for holding media shares, which sparked a wave of questioning and was even seen as a violation of election laws. This is the first time I've heard that media shares can determine someone's eligibility to become Prime Minister more than political scandals. Imagine, when Peter received that pile of share certificates, he must have been as happy as if he had won a huge lottery jackpot. I'm a billionaire now. But when the elections arrived, he realized that those certificates had turned into his liabilities. I have to say, these are truly the most expensive liabilities in the world. When Peter's parliamentary status was frozen, he removed his own parliamentary ID and bid farewell to the parliament, receiving a heroic cheer. What a dramatic moment it was, almost worthy of a movie. What do you think the title of this movie should be? I have a few suggestions. Tears of the Future Forward Party, The Fall of a Parliamentarian, or Father's Legacy, How a Billionaire Became Unemployed. Thai voters had hoped for his reforms, but he left just like that. Of course, Thai voters aren't left with nothing. They now have a real estate tycoon stepping in as the new prime ministerial candidate. It seems like Thailand's version of Trump takes office. Let's hope he doesn't propose building a Thai wall to prevent us from visiting Thailand. We really love their curries and massages. Lastly, let's send our greetings to the passionate supporters of the Future Forward Party who took to the streets to shout their grievances. With their enthusiasm, they can surely contribute many radical directors and actors to Thailand's entertainment industry. Just don't forget, no matter how angry you are, to maintain social distancing. Well, let's look forward to how Thailand's new Prime Minister will lead the country. Hopefully, he won't turn Thailand upside down like he did with his real estate. Remember, what we want is stability and prosperity, not earthquakes. Recently, in the United States, an 8-year-old girl won $800,000 in compensation because she was burned by a piece of McDonald's chicken nugget. Yes, you heard that right, $800,000 for a scalding chicken nugget. When I heard this news, I started questioning what I did wrong while eating McDonald's. Little Olivia, only 4 years old, was looking forward to enjoying the delights of a happy meal at the amusement park, but she ended up with a burning hot thigh from that chicken nugget. Imagine this little girl's face full of anticipation and excitement, holding her little toy in her hand, and in the next second, the fairy tale turned into a horror movie. Her family initially demanded $15 million in compensation, which reminded me of when I fell down as a child and my mom only gave me a band-aid and a kiss. I feel like I set my compensation demands too low. However, McDonald's is not innocent either. They argue that the chicken nugget must be hot enough to prevent salmonella poisoning and that once the food leaves the drive-thru, events are beyond the company's control. Yes, my friends, you heard it right, they are essentially saying, consider a little burn as a favor, at least we didn't poison you to death. Overall, I just want to say that if you want to become a millionaire, you don't necessarily have to start a business or invest in Bitcoin. Sometimes, all you need to do is order a happy meal and wait for the surprise that McChicken brings you. Of course, I hope that surprise is not a second-degree burn. A study from Stanford University found that ChatGPT seems to be getting a bit stupid. Have you all heard about that chatbot called ChatGPT? The one that's supposedly smarter than all of us? Yes, the one that is said to be taking away all of our jobs. However, a recent study from Stanford University found that ChatGPT's accuracy in solving math problems dropped from 97.6% to 2.4%. Yes, you heard it right, 2.4%. This robot is like that student who keeps improving and suddenly forgets all their math knowledge overnight. It reminds me of when I used to stare blankly at my math book in high school, and then the teacher would come and ask me if 17,077 is a prime number, and I would be like, what on earth is that? In March of this year, GPT-4 could actually determine that 17,077 is a prime number with 97.6% accuracy. However, just 3 months later, this accuracy plummeted to 2.4%. Yes, you heard it right, I didn't misread it, it's 2.4%. It's like telling your friend, I'm 98% sure I can complete this task, and then 3 months later saying, actually it's 2%. You know what's interesting? GPT 3.5, the older version of ChatGPT, actually improved from 7.4% accuracy to 86.8%. I don't know if that counts as progress, but I do know that if I were a robot, I would definitely want to go back in time. I've heard that ChatGPT also has different results when it comes to generating software code. I guess for an AI created by programmers, generating incorrect code is like offending their dignity. Overall, this study shows us that AI development still has a lot of uncertainty, and we can't expect AI to understand and solve all problems like humans do. So, next time your AI gives a wrong answer to a simple question or stops sharing its thought process, You can tell it, it's okay, we all have imperfections. After all, you're just a bunch of code. Russia recently announced its withdrawal from an agreement mediated by the United Nations and Turkey to export grain and fertilizers from Ukraine by sea. This move will limit the export of crucial food items from Ukraine. According to figures provided by the World Food Programme, food exported from Ukraine before 2022 had fed 400 million people globally. Russia is holding Ukraine's food exports hostage, continually threatening the world and demanding the West to lift economic sanctions. After breaking off participation in the Black Sea Grain Agreement to block exports, Russia also attempted to bomb Ukraine's core ports, damaging the infrastructure for food exports. The Russian Navy conducted live fire exercises in the Black Sea. A few days ago, the Kremlin said it would consider ships heading to Ukraine through this waterway as potential military targets. On the 20th, the U.S. side mentioned that there were signs that Russia was preparing to attack ships carrying food in the Black Sea after withdrawing from the grain agreement, which was denied by the Russian ambassador to the United States. Meanwhile, Russian forces continue to retaliate against ports in the southern region of Ukraine, and the White House announced that the Ukrainian military has begun using cluster munitions recently provided by the U.S. In an article published in Defense One magazine, Sam Skov pointed out that the war in Ukraine is reshaping the defense industry landscape in a way that benefits small companies, using the small arms company GMP as an example. The company has secured a large contract to provide ammunition to Ukraine, surpassing the military giant Northrop Grumman, which only got a smaller share. On the 21st, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stated that Ukraine has everything needed for a successful counterattack, and its well-equipped and trained troops will play a role in the coming months. He emphasized that the offensive is still in its initial stage, and Russia has already mobilized a large amount of defensive force to resist the counterattack. After several months of shocking nationwide protests and riots, French President Macron is restructuring the French government, hoping for a fresh start to his second term. Google co-founder Brin is back at work. Insiders said that Brin attended a meeting on AI at Google's office late last year, but his participation has increased in both frequency and intensity. He has been working closely with researchers to develop Google's AI model Gemini. Since the release of ChatGPT, Brin's involvement has increased. Google stated that Brin does not have a formal new position at the company. According to insiders, ExxonMobil, which recently joined the search for lithium mines in the U.S., plans to build one of the world's largest lithium processing facilities near Magnolia, Arkansas, capable of producing 75,000 to 100,000 tons of lithium per year. A Pfizer factory in North Carolina suffered extensive damage in a tornado, raising concerns about more stringent drug supply in the U.S. The battery life of electric vehicles is being challenged in hot weather. As heat waves in the United States become more frequent and the number of electric vehicles increases, these vehicles need to increase their work intensity to maintain normal operation. If the battery's health is not properly maintained, this could irreversibly reduce the mileage of electric vehicles. Photographers who specialize in taking fluttering skirt pictures earn $1.5 million per year. Every summer, these photography studios in Europe allow tourists to wear luxurious satin gowns, with extremely long skirts, to take vibrant photos against a backdrop of white houses and blue roofs. These studios charge a minimum of $605 per person per hour. In the world of the internet, images and videos of child sexual abuse are hidden in every corner. The Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, based in Cambridge, is allowed to proactively search for and remove these materials. The organization told BBC Internet Affairs reporter Joe Tidy that the phenomenon of using artificial intelligence to create images of sexual abuse is on the rise. Hello everyone, I'm your news anchor Yali, here to provide a one-stop service for global news every day. Welcome to leave comments in the comment section, we will seriously read and respond to everyone's comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time, take care.